Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning, episode 412. Today, back on the topic of the NFL. Jay and I are going to be looking at who we think is going to have a better season in 2021 between Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. But before we get into that, the question of the day: the Cincinnati Bengals have been to 2 Super Bowls where they lost to the same team twice. What team was that? Again, comment below if you know the answer and stick around to the end of the video. If you don't, we'll discuss it then. But Jay, obviously, Burrow's going to need to have a bounce-back year after his injury, so I'm rooting for him there. Herbert, one of the best rookie quarterbacks we've seen in who knows how long. Who do you think is going to have a better year in their second year in the league?
Yeah, you can really pivot the question 2 ways. Like, who will have a better season statistically? I think it's really a toss-up, but which team will have more success from their quarterback? I just think the Chargers are in a much better spot, and Justin Herbert's in a much better spot to win right now. Even if Joe Burrow stayed throughout the whole season, it's not like they were going to put together a winning season. Not that Justin Herbert did himself, but either way, I think the team Herbert is on just has a lot more talent on defense, has a better head coach, and has a better offense, in my opinion. But either way, I do think both these guys will take a step up. It's kind of a trend you see in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, from his first year to his second year, won MVP. Lamar Jackson, first year to second year, won MVP. Kyler Murray did not win MVP his rookie year to second year, but he sure as hell took a big jump in how well he is performing. So I do think both of these guys can see it. Really, how well these guys take a jump is really going to be what their front office does in the offseason. The biggest thing Joe Burrow needs is an offensive line. They have the 5th overall pick. They're probably looking at Penny Sewell, if not Rashawn Slater. I hope the front office could get that for him. He's already done pretty statistically well in the few games he played. He didn't have a great winning season, like I said, but he put up a fight. There's many times his team had a good lead, and they just blew a lead against, such as the Colts. They put up good fights against the Browns, against the Steelers. Tough losses, but either way, Joe Burrow showed he has the talent and skill, and I think he'll further do that this year. However, unfortunately, I do think the Bengals, it's hard for me to say they will not finish 4th in their own division in the AFC North, while the Chargers, not that I think they'll take the crown and win the AFC West and go above and beyond and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I do see them being a 10-11 win team, and Justin Herbert being a big reason why they go there. They got a new head coach that will fix the defense. They as well will fix their offensive line in this offseason. To me, I just think the Bengals are not losing a lot, but not gaining a lot this offseason. Losing A.J. Green and John Ross, not that they are huge accomplishments, but they're still big presences on their team. They will get one of their top safeties back, Jesse Bates, one of the better safeties in the league for sure. So that defense will help Burrow, where he doesn't have to put up 40 points a game to try and stay competitive. But overall, I think the Bengals have too many holes to fix their entire team in one offseason while the Chargers are ready to win now.
Yeah, I think if I'm looking at it from the team standpoint, the Chargers are going to have a better year 100%. But I think as far as quarterbacks alone, I think I'm going to give this one to Burrow. If you look at last year, he made it through, I think, 9.5 games. He got hurt early in a game against Washington. So he either went 9, 10 games, whatever he did. He threw 13 touchdowns and 2,600-something yards. He had a pretty good year last year. But, I mean, Joe Burrow's whole college career was all about, I don't know, he was at Ohio State, didn't start. Yeah. Then he went to LSU, didn't start at first, then became one of the best college quarterbacks ever. It's all about overcoming adversity for him. So I think that this injury, that he will recover from it this offseason and come back with a new fire, and I think he'll actually play better than he did last year. This coming year, like I said, it just makes for a perfect Joe Burrow-esque story for him to do that. And then you look at Justin Herbert, who's really shown every quality of a great quarterback so far. But the new head coach and Brandon Staley, more of a defense-oriented coach. Who's to say he doesn't?
It's hit or miss.
Right. I mean, obviously coming from the Rams, he was in a good organization, but who's to say he's going to benefit Herbert that much? So what did Herbert throw? 27, 28 touchdowns? 31 touchdowns last year. So obviously he was on fire last year. I'm not really sure he's going to get really much better going into second year, and I'm not sure he really needs to for his team to win 10, 11 games. He played as good as he really needs to play. But as far as the new head coach, I'm not totally sold that's going to really boost Herbert that much because of his defensive background. Now obviously he's good at what he did in LA, but that's not going to help. Not necessarily going to help Herbert that much. And then again, with Bates returning to Cincinnati, their defense will be hopefully at least solid, and hopefully they can pick up Sewell or Slater in the draft. And then between T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, he does have decent people to throw the ball to. And you mentioned A.J. Green likely not returning or pretty much not returning. I think that's more of a benefit to the Bengals. Even last year, if he was actually wanting to play there, then that's a different story. But last year we saw he didn't even care about really playing football there. So I think Joe Burrow gets an alignment his team gets an alignment in the draft, and Joe Burrow just kind of does Joe Burrow things and has a comeback year after an injury.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be to the same extreme, but honestly, I think Joe Burrow, if we're talking about pure, like, who has a better jump, I think Justin Herbert set a pretty high floor for him.
Right, if we're talking jumps, then it's got to be Burrow because Herbert can't really jump much further than he did.
Overall, better season statistically. This reminds me of Deshaun Watson and the Texans. I don't think it's to that extreme. I think the Bengals, I don't really know if you can debate who's a better organization. Neither are great at the very moment, but I do think the Bengals are a little more put together. So like I said, it won't be to the same extreme, but I could see Burrow have a Deshaun Watson season where every statistical stat goes in his favor.
Career high yards, touchdown passes, but wins.
But the wins do not
That's a very good point.
put together. So it'll be interesting to see. However, they got their head coach, Zach Taylor. They were debating on re-signing him or not. They gave him one more shot. We'll see how that does. I hope it works out for the Bengals' sake and Joe Burrow's sake. And he's not one of those guys in the NFL that are just going through coaches on coaches like Matt Stafford in Detroit. I hope it works out for him. And this offseason is really going to determine a lot. Yes, they're really young, and it's just a second year, but success comes early, and we want to see if it does for him.
Yeah, and this is all pending the fact that Burrow can come back, be 100%. I really hope he can. I mean, was it an Achilles injury? I don't know. It was a knee injury, I think. So it didn't look pretty. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to discredit Herbert and how good he is really. And of course, you mentioned the pattern with Lamar and Mahomes and what we thought would play out for Kyler Murray with the second year MVP thing. But I don't know, how good of a first year did Mahomes have?
Well, he's behind Alex Smith. So his second year kind of was his first year.
So I'm just thinking with Herbert having such a good first year, it kind of disrupts the pattern because there's not much room for him to grow. But, I mean, I think they're both going to have a great season, but the Chargers are definitely going to be a better team.
Yeah, factor will be also, will the Chargers re-sign Hunter Henry, who's a pretty big safety blanket for Justin Herbert. I doubt it'll change things drastically, but who knows? Sometimes you don't really notice what you have until it's gone, so that will be a factor for sure.
For sure.
If they do not re-sign him.
All right, absolutely, guys. Comment below whether or not you think Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow have the better season. Personally, I think it'll be Joe Burrow.
I got Herbert.
He's got Herbert. That's a fair take as well. But again, that's all for video, guys. Question of the day, your Cincinnati Bengals in their 2 Super Bowl appearances have lost twice to the San Francisco 49ers, guys. Thanks for watching 2 Minute Warning.